All right, Live Leaders, I got a special guest for today. I just ran into him here at the gym. This is Mr. Steve Cook. I'm gonna have 5 questions for this man after the break. All right, LiveLean Nation, welcome to LiveLeanTV. My name is Brad Guthrie. I am your host, and I'm here with Steve Cook. And I got 5 questions for Steve. Steve's going to tell you how he lives lean in 5 different ways. So let's start off with the first question. Steve, tell me, what is your #1 fitness tip to live lean?
#1 fitness tips in terms of working out or just in general?
Working out.
Working out. I would definitely say don't be afraid to lift heavy. The more muscle you have, obviously, the more calories you're going to be burning at a standstill. So a lot of times people really forget that in order to put on muscle, you need to lift heavier. A stronger muscle is going to be a bigger muscle down the line. So hypertrophy training is always great. Don't be afraid to drop the reps down. Women, same thing. You're not going to get big and bulky.
I'm glad you say that because 50% of my subscribers are females, and I'm always telling them to lift weights. So if it's coming from the man here, ladies, you got to listen up as well.
Lift weights. Some of the best female physiques out there, you're going to see them doing resistance training. It's just a must.
Absolutely. Cool. So #2, Steve, #1 nutrition tip to live lean.
Nutrition tip. Got to prepare your meals. Preparation's key. If you don't prepare, be prepared to fail. I mean, it goes without saying that obviously if it's everywhere, there's something to it. You're hungry, you have a busy life. If you don't have a meal, I've been there. If you don't have meals packed, if you don't have meals ready, it's just so easy to stop and pick up something fast. You're ornery, you've had a long day. The last thing you're going to want to do in that moment is make something healthy. If you have it on hand, though, it's just super easy.
Yeah, and you travel quite a bit, right?
I travel a ton.
So I mean, if he can do it, if he finds time traveling everywhere.
It's a little bit tougher when you travel. I do a lot of B elite fuels and even bars. You got to really look at macronutrients on bars, but there are some out there that are pretty good meal replacements that aren't going to be added with a ton of sugar.
Yeah, and I mean, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. If you're one of the few people that doesn't actually know who Steve Cook is, go to bodybuilding.com, just take a look. You'll probably see him with his shirt off on there.
Yeah, you probably will. Bodybuilding.com, Optimum Nutrition.
There you go, right there. So that actually is a good segue into the 3rd question I have for you, Steve. #1 tip, supplement-wise, to live lean.
Supplement-wise, so I always tell people I don't really consider protein a supplement. That's just kind of there. It's there to make sure you're hitting your requirement. It's just a very easy, digestible way to get enough protein. Protein's important for recovery with muscle, muscle repair, muscle growth. More muscle you have, more calories you're burning. So protein, I don't really consider that. A good multivitamin make sure you're overall healthy. And then specific living lean supplements, I would say CLA, also L-carnitine. And then, I really wouldn't mess around too much with a fat burner. That might be when I'm doing a contest for men's physique or whatnot, that might be the last thing I implement, but everything else has to be in place.
What about fish oil?
Oh, yeah.
Little shout out there, fish oil.
Good fats to help you burn. The fish oil is definitely a staple.
Yeah.
That one's actually there before. I never stopped taking fish oil, so that was more for my specific fat or fat loss. CLA and L-carnitine is what I add. Fish oil I take all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And this stuff for you guys is probably sounding all familiar because this is what I talk about every week. So it's good to reassure that Steve is doing the exact same things. Question #4, Steve. #1 tip to live lean, motivation-wise. How do you keep doing it 3-6-5?
Well, I always tell people, you are what you think about. So if you are at work, it's been a long day, you haven't had time to think about the gym, you're on your way, maybe going to work out, turn on something, a podcast, or if you have time to get on the internet, read something, get something that's going to put you in the mindset. So I like to look at YouTube videos, read something, maybe it's from out of the latest fitness magazines, bodybuilding.com. You have to do something. So I love reading about the muscle I'm going to train that day. I've trained chest a million times. Honestly, more chest workouts in my lifetime than I could definitely count to. So, but how do I still motivate myself to do it? There's always new ways to try things, new exercises, changing up the tempo, changing up exercises. Just so many different things you can do that mentally stimulate you, and that is just going to turn around, and it's going to, you're going to get more out of it, and physically it's going to be better long term too.
Yes, let's just plug your YouTube channel now for anybody.
There we go.
What is it?
Swolger Nation.
And just tell me what Swolger Nation actually is.
So Swolger Nation, it's really something. It's a community. Swolger Nation. I had a buddy in college called me a Swolger because I was always in the gym. It was something that I went through a divorce when I was younger, and it was something that I went back to the gym, and I did things the right way in the gym. No shortcuts, no taking, no steroids, doing things the right way, because in life there's no shortcuts. Anything in life that you think is the easy way out, our generation's full of the quick fix and immediate, gratification, immediate satisfaction. It's not what life's about. So Swolger Nation's kind of about doing things the right way, putting in the time, and it's a community. So
how similar does that sound to the Live Lean Nation? I mean, we do a 365, they're doing a 365 over there. This is all good stuff. Hopefully you guys are getting some stuff out of this. Last question for you, Steve, is your #1 tip relationship-wise?
Relationship-wise.
This is a little bit off the topic of fitness, but relationship-wise,
it's a good question.
I got a girlfriend who lives in New York City, so we're working through things.
Long distance.
Long distance.
I'll tell you what, I've definitely done the long distance thing. I travel so much for my job, honestly, that communication and expectations have to be, you have to be on the same page. I know we've all heard communication is important, but you start thinking about that, and it really means that you have to be able to be honest with yourself about what you want out of the relationship, about where it's going, and be realistic with your partner, and just making sure that you're upfront, you're transparent about your beliefs, just on everything. And if it is going to work out in the end, it's going to work out. If not, you don't need to hide things. It has to be. And I really think, there's synergy is something I like to talk about in terms of with your partner. You guys don't agree on something, there's always a better solution to something. It's better than compromise, because you care about that person, and therefore what you guys come up with is better than a compromise. But it's about being a team at the end of the day. It's being a unit.
Absolutely. So communication, I actually just had that conversation this morning. Love you, Jess. we're communicating right now. Things are all good. But just want to appreciate you coming on, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. Once again, check out Steve on YouTube and Twitter and everything else. I'll put his information down in the description below. Until next week, guys, make sure you click that like button, click that subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.
Inside, you're gonna bring this leg out to the side. So it's really engaging your obliques. It's gonna give you the full effect of your core.